Wanna dance?
I told you, dancing gives me panic attacks.
All right. Who are we looking at?
Guy in the football shirt, holding the punch.
Okay, one, they call that a baseball jersey. Two, really? James?
Isn't he cute? He kind of looks like the prince from Beauty and the Beast.
Before or after he got cursed?
You got this extreme case of deja vu. A moment is constantly happening where a crush keeps choosing another girl over and over again. And it leaves us all questioning what is real and what's not real. But she realizes quickly that it's this pill that's transporting her back to the same moment. And it gives her this confidence to take matters into her own hands. It gives her this confidence to try out line after line just to see what works until she does finally figure out the perfect pickup line. She learns everything about this guy and figures out how to use it to her advantage, but it's all a lie. And in the end, finally getting the guy is not exactly what she expects. And I like how, in the end, this character chooses herself. So it doesn't become this story where it's just all about this girl pining after this guy. I thought that was really great.
It has a real Groundhog Day feel, which I loved. Perfect party location in the backyard. I thought the actors had a lot of fun doing this one. It must have been so enjoyable to do take after take and make each one slightly different. Awesome wardrobe too.
The title sequence is creative and fun and a play on the pills that she ultimately ends up popping in this sequence. It's a college party, and our lead actress has her eyes on a guy across the way, and she tries to figure out a creative pickup line rather than just going for it, and ends up failing miserably from it. And as she is in the car with her friend and offered a psychedelic pill, she finds herself traveling back in time, being able to relive this moment over and over again. She ends up getting addicted to these pills, kind of getting lost in this obsession of hers, trying to score with this guy. And then finally, ultimately, when she actually gets a chance to pursue him, she actually declines it and kind of gets a reality check and is kind of decides that she'd rather spend time in her own company. And so when they find themselves at a party again, she says that she's off the drugs, which there's humor in this bit because she ends up grabbing a bottle of liquor and chugging it.
It was kind of a modern twist on Groundhog's Day, but more fun. You know, I loved what they did and how they set up her going back with taking the pills and everything like that. And the music really lent to that too. I think the choices in music were very, very smart. Cinematography was on point.
In trying to get this guy, our main character essentially lies about her interests in order to essentially get him interested in her, until she eventually realizes that in order to be with him, she would essentially have to put up this facade about being interested in things she just is not. And I think that's a very important message, because if you really want a relationship to work, that connection has to be there. And if you try to force it, it usually does not end well. And I think, that's a very important and also very interesting. I'm glad that they I'm glad they decided to tell this story. I'm glad they decided to say that message, because it's not a message you really see a lot, especially when it comes to relationships.
This was really funny, and it puts the right emphasis on how much we overthink asking someone out or even talking to someone we're interested in. It really puts that overthinking into perspective. I was worried with how many pills she was popping that she was going to end up having a heart attack, just because she kept trying to work it out, and it didn't seem safe to take that many pills in that short period of time. But this film was really amusing. It's one of those films that just keep going and going and going. It's one of those things where you're trying to work it out, and is it worth it, is it not? And it was really well written for that reason alone, is that it shows exactly what goes through somebody's head and all the scenarios that can happen when you're trying to approach someone you're interested in. It was really amusing for that reason. It was well performed too. It was one of those things that you can think about because it's something we've all been through. So this film's very, very relatable for that reason alone. It's something almost every single human being has ever gone through.
There's this loop going and going with this young lady. She's attracted by this guy, so she has the chance to go and say different pickup lines every time until she finds out that he's actually an idiot and he's not the guy she was looking for. I think it was funny, but also at the same time very deep and interesting. And it makes you understand that when you see a person for the first time in your life, that's not the real person you have in front of you. It's gonna change. It's not exactly what you were expecting in the end after talking